What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Medicom Toys Mafex Avengers Endgame Thor. And so here we have Thor posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories. Thor does come with 3 different head sculpts. We do have the stern neutral head, which he has on him right now. He does have a yelling expression. And then we do get a head where his eyes are lighting up, which looks really nice. He also does come with an array of hands. He does come with a pair of fists, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of splayed open hands, a pair of hands for holding Stormbreaker, a pair of hands for holding Mjolnir, and a pair of hands with tight grip hands, which I'm pretty sure is for a Captain America accessory. He does come with 4 versions of each weapon. We do get 2 versions of Mjolnir. We have the standard version, which looks nice. Then we do have a powered up translucent version. Then we do get 2 versions of Stormbreaker as well. We do get the regular version of Stormbreaker, which is really nice. I do like it. And then we do get a blue translucent version of Stormbreaker. Thor does come with lightning attachments, which do attach onto Mjolnir, which look really nice. Stormbreaker itself gets 2 lightning attachments, which also look really good. Then we do get a pair of lightning attachments that go around Thor's arms. And then we finally get his lightning attachments, which do peg into the discs around him, as well as an alternate belt with the lightning effect. Other than that, Thor here doesn't come with anything else. I think he comes with quite a bit, to be quite honest. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at Thor. And so here we have a closer look at Endgame Thor, and I have to say that Mafex has done a wonderful job with this figure. Now, looking at the head sculpt, it's not the best likeness that we've seen out of Mafex. They have done better head sculpts. It does look like Thor, if that makes any sense, but it doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth. I think from some angles it does, but for the most part, he kind of just looks like Thor, the way you would expect Thor to look. That's pretty much what he looks like. Although I will say this, that the light up head probably has the best likeness to Chris Hemsworth. As you can see, both heads, even though they are the same sculpt, for some reason this one has better likeness to Chris Hemsworth. I don't know why that is, but the heads do look really nice. I do like the fact that they did paint his eyes 2 different colors. That looks really nice. We do have his blue eye and then his brown eye right here. He of course does have the scarring right there, which looks really good. And then of course he does have his braided beard, which I think that was a really nice touch. It is a shame that it took almost 20 years for them to give us the braided look for Thor. Was it 20 years? No, it was more like 15 years. I think it looks the most Norse out of any Thor that we've had, and his hair even looks very Norse. We have the braids at the top going into the top bun with the hair going down. I'm honestly surprised it took them that long to give us a Thor that looked very Nordish, but at least we finally got it, and unfortunately it was Fat Thor. Now, having a look at the rest of his costume is the exact same that we saw in Infinity War. Now, the only difference is he packed on some weight right around the waist. Now, I think that was kind of funny, but it kind of ran its course throughout the movie and became not as funny later on. I do like the detailing on this figure, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of Fat Thor. I thought it was okay at first, but then the more I look at it, it doesn't make any sense. Having a look at his arms, I do like the fact that they brought back the male arms where he does have the armor here. I think that was sorely missing from a lot of the Thor movies, and I'm glad that they did bring it back for Endgame and Infinity War. It does look really nice, and I do like the gauntlets that he has on him right here. You can see they do have some wrapping. There's a buckle right here. Nice detail all the way around. As far as his chest plate goes, I do like the detailing. I do like the little discs that Thor has. It's not Thor if he doesn't have the disc, and they did a really good job painting them. Now, I do like the fact that they are quite easy to pull off if you really want to interchange them, and they are keyed, as you guys can see. So if you want to change them out, it's very easy, and they don't fall out. So I do like that. That's a really good detail that they put on. It's easy to take off, easy to put in, and they stay where they're supposed to. So really good job by Mafex. Now, like I said, since this is the Endgame Thor, he is packing a little bit of weight here, and I think this is probably the best representation of Fat Thor. I know Hasbro did their very own, and then Figure Arts did theirs, but I think Figure Arts did a little too much on his gut. I think Hasbro also did a little too much. This almost looks perfect like it was in the movie, so I do gotta give Mafex props there. Really do like the belt, and like I said, the belt is interchangeable. We get a second belt that you just pop his torso off like that, and then you just interchange the belt piece, so that is really nice. I'm really liking the way they engineered this figure. Going on to his pants, as I said before, it's the same costume essentially that he wore in Infinity War, just that he packed on some weight. And I'm honestly surprised they didn't do like a fitting him tight joke. That's something that either they didn't include or they just completely forgot, which I'm glad they did. You can see right here on his knees, it does look like he has some knee pads on. Then we go on to his shins, where we have his shin guards right here. We have some silver at the top, followed by some more detailing right here in the rest of the boot, going all the way down. Really liking the detailing here, and unfortunately he has no soles on the bottom side of his feet. It's just flat. Now, I think one of the best things about this figure, the camera will focus, is this cape. I absolutely love the material that this cape is made out of. If my camera will focus, let me get that focusing really fast. It is such a nice material. This cape is fantastic. I love the way it feels in the hand. It's a very light fabric, and I'm surprised it's as light as it is because it is dual layered. You can see the inside of the cape is black, the outside is red, so really nice detailing here on the cape. And I do like the texturing on the inside of the cape. They did a really good job with that. And then the very soft feeling red right here. It's a very nice cape. If you guys have this figure in hand, you know exactly how nice this cape is, and it tucks in wonderfully. So they did a lot of good things with this figure, and I am happy about that. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Thor compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Thor posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Thor posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Thor posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have the Mafex Endgame Thor posed next to the Mafex Endgame Captain America. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at Thor's articulation. Now, Thor does have a double ball joint in the head. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, it is a little bit hindered going forward because of the beard. Now, yes, his beard is a little bit soft, but it's not too soft, so it doesn't really allow for forward movement, but it does allow for some really nice upward movement, and I do like the fact of how soft the hair is. You can turn his head left and right, as well as tilt his head side to side. And then he does have a joint in the neck, which does help with posability, so I really do like that. It also helps with sideways movement, so really good job there. Although it is a really long ball joint, I do understand why they did it the way they did, because of how long his hair is and his beard. You really don't notice how long his neck is with all this here, so it's a really nice looking figure, aesthetically very pleasing. We do have a butterfly joint right here, which is on a ball joint. I do like the fact that Mafex uses ball joints for their butterfly joints because it does allow for more natural movement. You can see it does move all the way around, does pivot forward and back, down and up. We do have another ball joint connecting the shoulder into the socket, so that does allow for some rotation, although you've got to be careful on how you have the joint situated. Sometimes you'll be rotating the joint and then you'll accidentally push in the butterfly joint, so just keep that in mind. Arms do go out to the side very nicely. I do like that. He does have a bicep swivel, which works really nice. Then we do have a double bend here at the elbow, giving us much better than 90 degrees. He does have a ball hinge here at the wrist, which does allow for forward and back movement, as well as up and down if you rotate it certain direction, and then it does rotate on that pin. Thor does have a ball joint here in the torso, and as you can see, it works really nicely. It's a little bit stiff in some spots, but it works fantastic. You can see he crunches forward really well, crunches back about right there, rotates, and I do like that. Then we have a second ball joint here in the waist, which lets him lean back about that far. Combining the two joints, let's see. Get some really nice crunch, which is surprising for a man of his stature is at this point, because he's kind of, you know, fat. I believe that's a double ball joint here, and you can see it does butt up against the little discs right here, so do be careful that you don't accidentally get them snagged and pop them off. But yeah, really good movement there, and we do have rotation. Then we do have a drop down hinge here at the hips, although they really don't drop down too far. That's about as low as they go, and that's about as high up as they go, so they really didn't need to include a drop down hinge right here. His legs go about that far normally, so that drop down doesn't really add anything, so there is that. Going back, you get some pretty decent movement, and then out to the side, I guess that's acceptable for a fat Thor. He does have thigh swivel, which works decently. You can see because of the way his crotch piece is sculpted, it does hinder some movement. We do have a double bend at the knee, which looks really good and functions beautifully. Now, unfortunately, we just have a ball joint here at the ankle. It's a double ball joint. I would have preferred a standard ball hinge, because even though he does get forward and back movement as well as rotates, some side to side pivot, I still prefer hinges over ball joints in the ankles, and that's just me personally. He does have a toe joint, which looks really nice. I do like the way it functions. And then finally, his cape does have a wireframe in it. Now, unfortunately, there's no wireframe here at the bottom, but here on the side, it's wireframed, and it's a very stiff and strong wire, so if you do pose it, it is going to pose really nicely. And just look at how nice that wireframe is. It's really good. You just gotta pose it up here, because this is where it's being held down by the plastic, so you gotta like work around that. But overall, really liking the articulation on Thor here. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Mafex Endgame Thor pose for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like the way this figure came out. Even though Endgame is not my favorite version of Thor, if anything it's probably my least favorite version next to the Ragnarok Thor, I still think this is a really nice figure. I do love the accessories that he comes with. I was a little bit surprised by the fact he comes with two versions of each of his weapons. We do get the standard version, and then we do get a translucent blue version. I think that's a little bit too much. I would have been okay with just the standard version, but I always love when companies go above and beyond and give us a little bit extra, and I do like those effects that we can see right here. They attach wonderfully onto Thor as well as all his weapons. He just looks like a really imposing figure, and I really do like that. Now, like I said, this isn't my favorite version of Thor. I wasn't a fan of Fat Thor. I thought it played itself out really fast. This is still a really solid figure by Mafex, and I absolutely love what they've been doing with their Endgame figures. I can't wait to get hold of Iron Man when he's released. That's probably going to be a really great figure. Thor here is a very good figure to go alongside Captain America, and I kind of wish that Mafex made Thanos or even bigger figures, because I think I would love to see an Endgame Hulk made by them, or if not, an Infinity War Hulk as well as Thanos, but that's beyond the point. The point here is that this Thor is probably the best version of the Endgame Thor, and it is a little bit unfortunate that it comes out years after the movie did, but I would prefer a figure come out looking like this than a rushed figure that like we get from Hasbro half the time. Now, if you are looking for Endgame Thor here, he is going to run you about $80 if you did purchase him off sites like AmiAmi or HobbyLink Japan. If you did order him from sites like Big Bad Toy Store, he should start shipping soon, and he will run you about $110. Now, this figure does come with a lot of accessories, and I do like that. Does he cost $100? I honestly think yes, this figure does look very good for the price point. So if you are looking for Thor, definitely add him to your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Mafex videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.